Hello, everybody. We're back. It is time for a discussion about all of the variety of films that you just witnessed as part of the Un Mundo Extraño short films. My name is Miguel Rodriguez. I am the founder and executive director of a film festival called Horrible Imaginings Film Festival, which is co-presenting Un Mundo Extraño with this 2021 edition of the San Diego Latino Film Festival. Thank all of you in the audience for choosing the more genre, scary, sci-fi, fantasy, the fantastic to see these films through. I've got a whole list of representation of these films to bring to you, so this should be a really interesting conversation. As you just witnessed, I programmed a very eclectic mix of short films. I'm very proud of this short film block. I think it was exemplary and has a lot of really excellent things that we can talk quite a lot about. So please get your questions ready. Feel free to talk in the chat, ask questions throughout the conversation. We'll make sure we get to them. I do know that if anybody does have any questions, then you can start off right away. But first, let's see who we have. Let's bring our talent to the front of the screen. All right. We've got a whole collection. We'll see. This is going to be a 6-hour long conversation. I hope that you had lunch. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Marco, welcome. I'm glad you made it too. I want to say we can translate if need be. If you would rather use Spanish, my Spanish is very bad. But I suspect that anyone who's nervous about their use of English, it's way better than you think it is. So I think we'll be fine. So Marco, you did our mermaid film, right? I just want to make sure I remember that correctly. I can't remember the English word. El agua del arrepentirá.
El agua te arrepentirá. The water will regret you.
There we are. Yes, so I'm so happy you're here. I really wanted to talk about that. And welcome back, Pablo and Ana. Great to see you. So yes, you'll see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of our films to discuss. And I am going to try to keep these kind of general, so everybody can try to have an equal amount of time talking. But I'll also try to keep it interesting because all of your films are so different, and obviously from different locations. I kind of wish we had someone here from La Bruja, because I liked having La Bruja next to At Last the Sea. I think those two films together with these very different saludos. Oh, Honduras. We had our film from Honduras last night. Those films together really show a very different outlook of witches and witchcraft. And Ana, your vision of it with the feminist take is certainly, I love how it's a very contemporary look, but it's a period piece that takes place in the 1700s. It's fascinating. But a question for everybody. I will try to make this not a boring question, but I do want to hear, I know you always get asked about your influence, but I do want to ask a little bit about where the seed for this particular film came from. Because if I look around, ooh, Felipe, you're here too. Macabre, all right, good. Wow, we're going to have a fun time. All of these films are so different, and I'm glad you're here, Felipe, because your film is one of the ones that I programmed partly to have a little more fun, right? Because some of the films get pretty intense. But
that's the idea.
Let's go one by one, and we'll start with Ana Alba. Yeah, can you talk about the idea for At Last the Sea and where you came up with that and where that came from?
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Ana. I'm from Mexico. I'm glad to be here. As I was saying, I'm nervous about my English, but well, let's give it a try. And I'm going to, at least the sea is inspired by a Mexican legend in Veracruz called La Mulata de Córdoba. And I hear about that legend because in my childhood, I always went to Veracruz and we visit San Juan de Ulúa, which is a prison there, and a maximum security prison. Let's call it that. And we went there and I hear it, the legend, and I always thought, well, this lady needs to have his revenge, his encounter with his aggressor. So I always had that in mind, and it came the point that I need to do the script with my script writer Dariela, and we figure how we could make this happen because I love to do magical realism. I think that's the kind of movies I like to make, but with a twist of feminism. And so we decided that we have to make it more acotada a little bit. Well, we can shoot in Veracruz and we can make a piece. Well, it's a lot of money, so we decided to make a sales and to have a very so we have we shoot in photos. I don't know how to say it, and well, that's why the movie took place there, and it's been I think that it turned out good because of that challenge in producing, because it's more I don't know how to say it, but it's more it's más acotada, es más it's more to the point.
Yeah. No, we definitely got. You know what's very interesting is usually when a lot of filmmakers will avoid making a film that is in a very like a period or very like in the past because they're afraid it's going to be more expensive or harder to do. But I thought it was very like you did it very well. First of all, your film is hard to watch, Anna. Like it starts off and it's got some very intense scenes like right at the beginning. I do want to talk about that a little bit, but let's come back to that because I want to hear from everybody else first. But I did want to point out that it's very fascinating that you would say, it's too expensive to do it here. Let's set it in 1700s and make it even harder. I thought that was kind of brilliant, actually. Next up, actually, I'm happy because next up we've got another water-based film, Marco, who I'm going to try to say this again and embarrass myself in front of everybody. El agua del arrepentirá. Nobody's laughing.
El agua te arrepentirá. The water will regret you.
Yeah, arrepentirá. So, after At Last the Sea, which, in Anna's film, the water represents something very specific. With yours, it represents something very interesting as well. Can you talk about your siren, your creature? Yours is like one of the creature features. I was very excited to show it.
Well, first of all, my English is very bad, so I don't know if I prefer, I think, speaking Spanish, but I can try in English a little bit and change.
You can try Spanish too, and I'll do my best to translate. And
Okay.
I think we can just a lot of the people watching will understand too. So
I don't know what is the question again. Sorry.
So where did you get the idea for your short film?
I don't know. I try to fall in love first of all with the narrative universe. I don't begin from the seed like a plot. Um, I need to fall in love with with the universe and or our image. In this case, is a man that lies in a boat. Um, and bueno, sorry, I have to change. Y bueno, partiendo de esa base, yo creo que sí es como partir de una imagen y desde la imagen intentar construir la historia, primero profundizando en el personaje y luego hilvanando un sentido, que en este caso tal vez vos apuntes que el agua, que preguntabas sobre el sentido del agua, el agua probablemente está relacionada así a la vida y es un discurso que en cierta forma es un poco feminista, pero yo nunca fue mi objetivo dar un discurso feminista, no, radicalmente no. De hecho, nunca buscaría hacerlo orgánicamente, simplemente lo hice con fines narrativos, porque era una historia que me interesaba que fuese así y fue como de forma muy intuitiva, no acostumbro a hacer críticas sociales ni a meterme con temas que me trascienden y que no me siento muy cómodo hablando de ellos ni aleccionando al espectador. Pero bueno, sí, en realidad, en relación a lo que es el universo narrativo, es lo que más me atraviesa a la hora de concebir una historia. Y como referencia cinematográfica, realmente creo no tenerla, tal vez sí literaria. Hay un escritor uruguayo con el que me siento muy representado y lo llevo tatuado acá en la piel, que es Horacio Quiroga. Y si no lo conocen, se los recomiendo mucho. Y él siempre contó cuentos cortos que desarrollaban universos similares a los que yo pretendo inmortalizar con mis películas.
I think I'm at 40%. That's not bad. The next one in the order of the block was, and who we have here, I believe. Oh, Dorian, we do have La Bruja. You were hiding behind my. Let's get back. Dorian, forgive me. I do want to ask you about your idea for La Bruja, another film from Mexico with witchcraft at the center. Where did you get your idea for that?
Okay, well, actually, this story begins with trying to talk about this regret feeling, about this internal fact that as person you have when you feel regret, like you're trying to get self-forgiveness, but sometimes it's impossible, like in the character's case. So this is like the seed of this short film, but I don't know. I think I want to talk about my life as where I came from. Like I'm from a small town where where we still believe in this kind of stories or this kind of myths or legends. And I agree with Anna Karen. She said here we believe in many things, many horror tales, and I think realistic magism, realismo mágico, is it's Here in Mexico, actually, it's not fiction. Here, I think it is part of a reality. We many times we live in all that story. So I think this is the seed of the witch La Bruja. Yeah.
Of all the short films, La Bruja was the one that was most like a story my grandmother would have told me.
Okay.
Yeah, very interesting, and yeah, I like the idea what you're saying about magical realism being realism, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very interesting, very interesting. We lost Anna again, or the other Anna. Oh, there they are, Pablo and Anna. Because we were going to talk about Silencio.
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it might help to have the camera off. It's good to have you back. So yeah, how about the idea behind Un Silencio Prolongado? That this is another film that is a very interesting and kind of existential film. Can you talk about that? Oh, the internet. It's a blessing and a curse, my friends. Yes. Hopefully we'll get them back. In the meantime, let's go on to Daniel Ibanez. You want to talk about the language? Well, so your film, I want to hear about this idea of not only murdering your life partner, but having yours is a very unique story. I want to hear where that came from.
All right, so thank you first of all for having me. The language was born out of, first of all, conversations that we were having with Andres Morales, my cinematographer, about what we wanted to do in terms of cinematography. That was one current, and then the other one was basically it was born out of conversations that he was having with Sonia, his girlfriend. I guess they were in a similar situation to the one you saw in the movie. It's they were staying at the summer place, and it was Christmas, and I guess there was an older couple there, and there was some friction, and she started thinking about the idea of this man killing his wife, and then they pitched it to me, and I really don't. I can't quite remember where I came up with the idea of like the supernatural element to it. But I know that gave me like a leeway into thinking about stuff that I've been thinking about misogyny and patriarchy. And I decided that I wanted to sort of ask questions about those themes and see where it took me. And eventually that morphed into like I had this eureka moment of realizing like she just comes back again and again and again at the end of the movie. You know, I hope it's clear that these people have been going through the cycle of violence over and over again. So that was my intention, basically.
It's interesting because her reaction to him is she's almost just kind of, I don't know if it's annoyed or perturbed. I have trouble nailing down like the mix of emotions that you see on her face as she sees him doing random things.
Right.
What kind of
it's very complex.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I'll come back. We'll come back to. I want to hear about some of the direction you might have given her, but. Felipe, I purposely held you off for last for a Noite Macabra or a Macabre Night. Your film is wild and crazy and fun and musical and bloody and gory, and it was a big I don't want to say comic relief, but a time to let go. So, wow, I want to hear about the ideas for this one and where they came from.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. It's an honor to be here.
You know, you're right. The idea was to have fun, you know, with the whole thing. So I was trying to to get back on genre filmmaking. My first film was an action comedy, so I was trying to get back to that, you know, to make those kinds of films, and I was trying to find a way to talk about a lot of things that was happening in Brazil and in the world right now. You know, that there's a lot of aggression and violence around everybody. But I didn't want to. I can't. I don't know how to be serious. So I need to to find humor in those kind of things. So I was trying to find a way to get into that. So the first thing that to me was the guideline to make this movie was the couple, you know, and the relation between them. So they can't talk to each other. They have no dialogue. That for me, that's the main problem with the world. So I started to pulling things out of that, you know. So you know, I tried to make. I really wanted to make a movie that was set in one night, and that had that feeling of urgency, and that I could make everything escalate to a point of everything was so crazy that we could not turn back. So the idea of the musical section was for that. You know, when the musical comes in the movie is when they hit that point where there's no turning back. You know, everything is so crazy, that's so out of nowhere, and from that point on, everything is different now. So that was it, and the main influence I can say is Halloween from John Carpenter, because I really wanted to have that sense of nighttime and terror, but I wanted that to be fun, you know, to be fun. I'm sorry for my English, but I think my Spanish is even worse. So because I speak Portuguese, so even my Portuguese is not good. So
your English is great. Half the time I do these, I get someone saying sorry for my English, and they speak like wonderful English. But you did quite well. I must say, talking about John Carpenter's Halloween, I was thinking of John Carpenter's Assault on Precinct 13 a little bit.
That too, yes. That was the main soundtrack that I was listening to while I was writing. Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's great. Wow. All right. So let's swing back. Ana Alba, I want to ask you about that opening scene in your film, At Last the Sea. And part of the reason I want to ask about it is because a lot of it is in total silence. And that just really turns up how uncomfortable it is. And we have to, your camera work is very intimate in this very upsetting moment. So I did want to ask you about like dropping the audience in there right from the beginning. And did you ever think like, oh, maybe this is too much, or it's supposed to be too much?
It's supposed to be too much, of course, because it's talking about a taboo, menstruation, everything like that. And who else, if we or me, like I'm talking, me like a female filmmaker who took that taboo and that topic and talk about it like we need to talk about it, you know. I don't know if the legend, well, I do know that legend doesn't took that topic, but we discussed that when we were writing the script, that we wanted to talk about menstruation, wanted to talk about the female or where maybe the the ancestors who took us up and help us arise. Is that how it says? Okay.
Yes.
So at the beginning, we decide that we wanted to talk about that, and of course, if you or in my journey in feminism, the more plain and the more specific you are in that topic, it's better for the people to took it like that. It's it's a taboo, and this guy doesn't like, of course, that the ladies in menstruating while he tries to rape her, so it's just like that. And I think we need to be more atrevidos, or well, to put out there this female topic, if we like to say it like that.
I think you said it perfectly. It's one of the reasons I programmed this film and really wanted to show it. I have one other question right now, and then we'll move on. But your lead, she's wonderful, but she is multiracial, and I'm wondering about that aspect to her character and how that informs your story overall too.
Well, the Mexican legend, it's called La Mulata de Córdoba. How it is in English, mulata?
Well, they're biracial or multiracial is what we would say.
Okay.
There is the word mulatto in English.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. But in the U.S. anyway, it has come to be a little bit of a pejorative. Like it's been used as an insult so long that we don't tend to use the word mulatto anymore. We'll use biracial or multiracial. But yes. So.
Well, yeah. Well, the legend it's called La Mulata de Córdoba, and well, here in Mexico, it's not that bad to say it. So at the beginning, the short's name it was La Mulata de Córdoba, but yeah, I thought that it's too obviously, so I changed it, and well, so yeah, Mawali, it's a gorgeous woman and an excellent actress. Well, I thought that if the legend includes a mulatto woman, it needs to be a mulatto woman, because it has a lot of we need to set a lot of that as well. And if we had it in that legend, it's for a reason. So I took it, and about the representative of these people in Veracruz, in Guerrero, we also had that part of peoples that it doesn't show in movies. So it felt that it have to be like that. But of course, it was a challenge in producing, because I casting every Afro-descendant people in Mexico City, and it was a challenge.
Yeah, I imagine it was. Doriana, we're gonna move on to you, because we're talking about the actress in At Last the Sea. I do want to talk about your actor who you have playing Martin, because his face is so wonderful, and I must say, having again these first two start the block, the cinematography is wonderful in both your films and really tells the story really well. But particularly, you use his face like it's a landscape, so I want to hear about why choosing that actor and how you chose to present him to show his sadness and his kind of misery.
Okay, well, I would say it's, the first thing that when I was talking with Mario Farias, the cinematographer, um, we were planning to to this wide lens and to be very close to the character, to get to feel close to them, to could get the feelings, and also that the audience could feel the same way as Martin feels in the short film. And yeah, that's I think Martin is a hard character. He he actually is a very bad person. So we want to see all these topics, all these ideas through his face. And when we were casting, when Isaín Davila, the actor, we find all that that hard expressions in her face, and the way he plays Martin was fantastic, for me, you know. But yeah, I think that's the reason why we try to use a lot of big close-ups and in the short film, you know. So yeah, that's it.
Marco, I want to ask you, and feel free to answer in Spanish. And I will say, too, that for anybody who's watching this or listening, when we have the recording, if you don't understand Spanish, we will subtitle the recording for you. But I do want to ask a little bit about the look of your mermaid siren, the woman that you have playing her. Her final look when she gets really scary at the end, and just also you do have a very steamy kind of sex scene between her and your lead actor. So I want to know, how was that filming, and where did those ideas for how she looks come from?
Wow, es una pregunta bastante compleja. No me animo en inglés, perdón.
Perdón.
Yo creo que en mi historia, sinceramente, creo que la forma de la criatura es sustituible. O sea, podría ser una zombie, que creo que fue el camino que terminé tomando, porque me pareció como que en el balance general de la historia, ya es una película que tiene una estética bastante poética y se desprende bastante del hiperrealismo. Entonces, me pareció como que en el conjunto le iba a ser mejor una propuesta realista en este sentido. Y no, en un momento analicé hacerlo en 3D. De hecho, yo filmé conmigo dentro del agua vestido de croma, porque lo iba a hacer en 3D, una cosa mucho más, una criatura más de agua enorme, como una babosa, pero al final me terminé decidiendo por este camino más realista, que me parece que equilibra mejor el tono de la película. I don't know if you understand me.
I understood, like, I think most of it, but I'm scared to embarrass.
Well, I take the real.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. We'll get, thank you. I see Ana y Pablo, although I don't see Pablo, but hi. Do we have you again?
Hi, Miguel. Can you hear us?
I hear you.
Our connection has been horrible.
That's okay. I totally understand. And I will say, you know, if you ever want to have another discussion over Zoom and that we can put on social media, I'm happy to do that. If we don't get this to work. So really quickly, can you talk a little? Oh, I lost her. She's gone. All right. Let's go with Felipe really quick. I want to ask you about the violence in Macabre Night, particularly when you get it gets very visceral, the gore, the eye poking scene.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you make it so over the top, that can be funny and fun too. But I'm wondering at what point you figure like, is this going to be too violent, or is this going to be just enough? And can you talk about doing the effects too? Because I know that we have a lot of people interested in special effects listening.
Well, for me, it's always in the script that I start to trying to manage the fine line between, you know, comical and what is really terrible. And to me, always in the violence in Macabre Night always was thought to be funny in a way, but for a certain point of the movie, I needed to be really hard, very harsh, especially from the end of the musical. I needed to be a little bit more harsh because I needed to imply that there was no turning back for those characters. So, I mean, I work with special effects.
Group, company.
No, a guy.
Artist?
His name is Johnny. Yeah, an artist. Thank you. Artist. His name is Johnny Left. Mm-hmm. And I always try to put some things in the script that I can work with him, that I know that he has fun doing. So I always thinking about him as I need to put this. Johnny was gonna like this. So I talked to him, and we always try to find new ways and cheaper ways, actually, to do it. The eye poking scene was a reference to Evil Dead. And I needed that to be a big moment in the movie, you know, and I really wanted to be for us we like horror movies. It's a woo moment, but everybody that doesn't really like horror movies looks at that scene and says, see, that's a really hard moment in the movie. And actually, the editor Clara, which is also our producer, she said that it was really hard for her to edit that scene and to find and the sound effects guy too. He said that he was listening to the scene over and over again. He was like, I can't do this anymore. But it was the head was very difficult to because it's a kind of a expensive effect to do. So we got a head from another movie that was I can't say the name, but it was a movie that was kind of well known here in Brazil and in some festivals. And we got the head from a famous actress, and we shot just the eyes, so we couldn't say who it was, and that helped us. That actually saved us with the effect.
Brilliant. I love having. I've talked to a couple of filmmakers who had editors or even special effects people who were upset by the things that they had to do. So that's always kind of fun.
Yeah, that's when you know that you did something really good. You know,
yeah,
worked.
In my last short film thing, we had someone who she had to make a baby that was cooked in an oven. And that was very upsetting to her.
Wow.
She's like, don't ever make me do this again. And speaking of babies cooked in an oven, Danielle, where there are no babies in yours. But we started talking about your wife, your actress who plays the wife who gets murdered but reappears again and again and again, with her wounds fresh and sitting, looking perturbed or annoyed at her husband. I was very curious to know, like, what you had for her to think and feel in the script, and what you told her she was thinking and feeling when you were directing her.
Well, we were talking a lot about violence in general, and the violence of men, and we just got along so great that I felt that she really didn't really need a lot of direction. What I told her was, you get up every time because you have to do it. Like, if you don't make breakfast, who will, right? So you just have to do it. And that's what's inside your head. You're tired and you're beat up. You're dead. You're all these things. I mean, but you have to do it. And so you just get up and you just clean yourself up. You dust yourself up and you go do it. And I think that was basically most of the direction that I gave her. It was that, and just talking about our lives, talking about her being a mom, and talking about me being a son, and I think most of the inner life that you see, she just brought herself. You know, she just brought herself into it, and I think that was enough. I think that was enough. I think it's very intriguing, everything that's going on behind her eyes. And I don't pretend to know exactly what all of that is, because I think it's personal. It's between her and that character.
It did feel to me like I was trying to think of what the emotion was, and it came to me as you were speaking. Her face looks fed up to me, like she's sick of this shit, but she's at this point now where it's like, what can I do now? You know, I mean, and in a very real way, I mean, in the context of your story, it's the finality of death, right? So,
right.
Yeah, it's very interesting. But I love the way her face communicates that without dialogue. And I think that's something, maybe with the exception of La Bruja, because there's some really interesting dialogue in there, and Macabre Night too. But one thing that kind of tied a lot of the short films together was a reliance on image rather than words. I really, I mean, in The Water Will Regret You, everything, it's very much following the picture, and I really appreciated that about a lot of these films, and certainly with her performance. It looks like we only have a few minutes, so I did want to give each of you time to talk about something you're working on now that you'd want people to find out about, or where people might be able to see your films, and then I'll do a wrap up. So let's start with you, Ana.
Oh my God, I don't know what to say. Well, here is the first time that the short is in public, so I hope, yeah.
Really? I didn't know it was a premiere. I should have known that.
It's a premiere.
I'm so excited. Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that. I'm excited about what the people says about the short, the message, the things that it communicate to the other. So that, and here in Mexico, I'm working in another shorts. I'm working in my first film, first large film. I don't know how to say.
First feature. Yes.
First feature. Thank you. So always working and always thinking about the message that we translate in fantasy or in magical realism. I love that.
Keep us in mind, Ana. I wanna see this feature when you've got it done.
Thank you.
Dorian, what do you have?
Okay, I don't know. For Twitch, actually, that's also the first festival. So we were planning to send this short film to more festivals and to get them, but I don't know. It's very hard. Just hard work. But as personal projects, I'm working on a TV series with a big friend, uh, and I'm planning to create another two short films. The one is called Las Tentaciones de Giovanni, La Tranquilidad de Andar en el Avión. It's a little funny, the title, but it talks about that. And yeah, that's what I'm working on. Yeah.
And Marco, how about you?
I will try to answer one in English. I am working with my partner in my first feature film, Paradoxa. Yes, we will shoot it next September, more or less. So we are working on that. The movie is about Rafael, a guy who is struck by a lightning bolt the same day that his wife decides to break up with him and leave his house. So for the accident, she decides to go back and stay with him in his recovery. But the electricity of the lightning bolt create a identical being, identical to him. Yeah. And she wants to, I don't know, put a creature into her belly. Esto lo sigo en español, perdón. No. But the conflict, the main conflict of the pareja, yes, I don't know, of the couple is that they lost a child years ago. So for an accident that he took, I don't know if it's alright. That, well, la película trata sobre los conflictos de la paternidad, de la inseguridad de este personaje en afrontar su propia locura y sus propios su propio infierno que está encarnado en este otro doble que viene como a desestabilizar todas sus estructuras. Perdón.
No, I am very interested in seeing that. That sounds fascinating. So, Marco, I hope to get that submitted too. Where are we? Felipe, I think we're with you right now.
Well, yeah, Macabre Night is just starting to go to festivals too. So right. It's just as our 5th festival, number 5 or 6. I don't know.
Congratulations.
Yeah, and we are submitting to a lot of festivals right now, mainly of genre festivals. Mm-hmm. I'm working right now in 2 feature films that I want to make, and in the future when everything is kind of normal again, and in a TV series too. But the films, I'm working on a comedy that is about 3 strange brothers that have to fight for their inheritance. Their father is a TV host of a famous game show, and he dies, and he says that they have to fight for their money in the TV show. So they have to go through a lot of different tasks and stuff. And the horror movie that I'm working, the feature film, it's about a group of friends that classical, assemble that people go into a house but the twist is that we discovered that every one of them is an idiot, and every one of them made something very, very bad prior that night, and that things start to killing them. That's the main problem. I wish I could make this year and the end of the year. I don't know.
I mean, I wish that I could have bought all of you drinks in person too. So let's get away from this COVID and get done with this. And finally, Daniel, what can we expect from you coming out soon?
Right. So I'm also working on my first feature film. We're getting the language gang back together to make it. We're currently writing it with Tariq, who's one of the co-producers of the language and also the sound designer. It's a horror movie. It's a low-budget horror movie set in a single house. It's going to be black and white, and hopefully it's going to be really scary and mean. And so yeah, you can be on the lookout for that. We're planning to shoot also in the fall, COVID permitting. So we'll see how it goes.
Well, I'm personally rooting for all of you. I'm excited to hear so many features in the works. That's excellent. A lot of times people get caught in the cycle of short film after short film, but it's good to hear a lot of these features. I can't wait to hear. Please let me know. And for everybody watching, this is the most important part for the audience. If you find these titles on Letterboxd or go on IMDb, rate and review them. And tell all your friends about these films. And also go on the Eventive and find the pages on our Eventive site. And you can click and share it to Twitter and to Facebook. Hey, I just saw this film At Last the Sea. I just saw this film Macabre Night or whatever. And just spread the word about these films, because with independent cinema, your word is the most important way to help artists and help filmmakers grow. I want to thank everybody in the audience for joining us, and I really want to thank all of our talent, all of our creators here. Thank you for having this conversation with me. I very much appreciate it. Thanks for sharing your art with us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.